I didn't realize how many people didn't know how tariffs work, so I'm going to explain it to y'all real quick. Now, I own a company called Black Spades.
I want to speak directly to Americans, our closest friends and neighbors. This is a choice that, yes, will harm Canadians, but beyond that, it will have real consequences for you.
Donald Trump just put a 25% tax on anything you buy from eBay, Etsy, Shane, Temu that comes from Canada or Mexico or China.
So if you were one of the people out there who was so upset about the egg prices, I'm going to ask you to get on this app and show me what your grocery bill looks like tomorrow.
Seems there's going to be some kind of international trade war here, as President Donald Trump has imposed the 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada, and also the 10% tariffs on goods coming from China. Of course, why that of China has been affected, that of Canada and that of Mexico has been suspended after the country heads had some discussions. So let's see what happens after these 30 days. Hello guys, welcome to today's video. If you are new to this space, kindly subscribe to the channel, like the video, share and leave your thoughts in the comment section. And in today's video, we are going to be looking at various reactions that has to do with the increase in tariffs. Of course, with this, there's going to be some kind of inflation. The prices of goods are going to be affected. So guys, let's dive right into the video.
I didn't realize how many people didn't know how tariffs work, so I'm going to explain it to y'all real quick. Now, I own a company called Black Spades. We sell a few different products, but we're most known for playing cards that are designed for spades. Let's say that one of our products that we get manufactured in China costs us $10 to make. We sell that product for $15, which means that we make a $5 profit on it. So if we get 1,000 of those products made, it's going to cost us $10,000. If there is a 25% tariff put on that product now costs us $12,500 to get here, which means that our profit goes from $5 down to $2.50. Obviously, we're losing money in that scenario, so we would have to increase the price of the product in order for it to make sense on our side. And like, as any business person can tell you, that price increase is probably not going to be proportional to that 25%. So instead of charging you $17.50, I'm probably going to charge you more like $19. So that product that you used to pay $15 for now costs you $19 to buy. Think about the fact that this tariff goes across multiple industries, which means that the prices of your products are going to be much higher than what you're used to paying. And this is across multiple items. The thing that is really problematic is the fact that Trump is talking about tariffs with China, Mexico, and Canada. China, Mexico, and Canada are the top 3 countries that we import products from, which means that a significant amount of what you buy is going to be affected. So if you voted for Trump for economic reasons because prices were too high, this is the absolute opposite. A tariff is not meant to be something that is paid for by the other country. The tariff is paid for by us, the producers that sell the product to you. The purpose of the tariff is to make it not appealing for us to go to our foreign suppliers. But even with that 25% tariff, a lot of times it's still cheaper to produce that product in another country. So it doesn't make us not want to produce there. It just makes it more expensive, or it makes it too expensive for us to stay in business. So if you didn't understand how tariffs works, it is not something that the other country pays. We pay that. We pay it. So I hope that helps.
This young man just gave a very perfect description of what this tariff thing is all about. And of course, as a business person, the sole purpose of you running your business is to make money, to make profit. So if the tariffs are going to be increasing, this is inversely also going to be affecting the prices of goods, because I have to make my profit.
So if you were one of the people out there who was so upset about the egg prices, I'm going to ask you to get on this app and show me what your grocery bill looks like tomorrow. So it's official. We are imposing tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China starting tomorrow. So you are going to start seeing a 25% markup on things from Canada and Mexico and a 10% markup on things from China. And of course, there will be other effects because China, Canada, and Mexico are certainly going to retaliate in some way. Now, just as a heads up, I want to walk through some of the things that you can expect to cost more tomorrow than they do today. And I want to remind y'all that a tariff is a fee that you will pay as a consumer, and that money will go to our government. It does, of course, indirectly punish those countries because if the prices go up for us, then we are going to buy less. So that's less revenue for them. It also means that our dollars are stretching a little less far. So what's going to get more expensive? Number one, housing. If you have been building a house, your lumber costs are about to go up by 25% because the majority of lumber that we get in the US is from Canada. If you like your Lululemon or Aritzia, remember that those are Canadian companies. You better order it today. And I'm sorry to tell you that the vast majority of the clothing that you're buying, whether you're buying it from Amazon or TikTok Shop, which I think you all know, but also from H&M, from Zara, from like all of these companies that you all shop at, all of that is produced in China. I mean, any of the toys you buy your kid, there's a decent chance those are from China, so those are going to go up. I hope you are not in the market for a car because a lot of your car parts are being made in Mexico. If you have been saving up for a large electronic, I would go ahead and pull that trigger right now because most of your electronics, your iPhones, your laptops, all of that stuff is being made in China. Household appliances, you need like a $5,000 fridge, it's probably made in China. A lot of your fruits and veggies are coming from Mexico, y'all. It's going to get a lot more expensive. And Canada actually sends us a lot of dairy products and grain. The thing is that once these companies raise their prices, they don't like to bring them back down. We saw that after the pandemic. So I bet those $10 eggs are starting to look pretty good right now.
With the list of items that are going to be affected by this increase in tariffs, if you're thinking of changing your car, I think it's just best you hold on to whatever you have now. If you're thinking of changing your phone, especially probably when the iPhone comes out, it's very possible the prices this year are going to be different after President Donald Trump came out and made it clear about the tariffs going up. The Prime Minister of Canada had this to say to Americans.
I want to speak directly to Americans, our closest friends and neighbors. This is a choice that, yes, will harm Canadians, but beyond that, it will have real consequences for you, the American people. As I have consistently said, tariffs against Canada will put your jobs at risk, potentially shutting down American auto assembly plants and other manufacturing facilities. They will raise costs for you, including food at the grocery stores and gas at the pump. They will impede your access to an affordable supply of vital goods crucial for U.S. security, such as nickel, potash, uranium, steel, and aluminum. They will violate the free trade agreement that the President and I, along with our Mexican partner, negotiated and signed a few years ago. But it doesn't have to be this way. As I've said before, if President Trump wants to usher in a new golden age for the United States, the better path is to partner with Canada, not to punish us.
That's the word I was looking for right there, partnership. No country can exist on its own. No country is an island of its own. One way or the other, you still need to depend on other countries for you to get your economy going. And if this has to be done, I think it can be done in a better way, just like the Prime Minister just said right now. There are ways that these things can be done that it's not going to affect the country, because at the end of the day, the people that are going to be suffering this are the masses. The citizens are the ones that are going to be suffering from this. And the truth is, if you're going to be increasing your tariff, you don't expect that the other country are just going to sit and fold their arms and just accept it. They are also going to do things that will affect you also, because one way or the other, you are benefiting from them.
As British Columbians and as Canadians, we'll stand strong and united in the face of this unprecedented attack. This is not a fight we started, but we will respond firmly and forcefully. Here in BC, we support a strong Team Canada approach to stand up to Donald Trump. For our first of many steps, effective today, I have directed BC liquor sales to immediately stop buying American liquor from red states. Liquor store employees will be removing the most popular of these brands from government store shelves. I have directed government and our crown corporations like BC Hydro, ICBC, and health authorities to immediately stop buying American goods and services and buy Canadian. And finally, we have communicated our full support to the federal government for a comprehensive, targeted set of national tariffs against American products. We call on them to act with urgency. The Americans are bigger, but if we don't stand up for ourselves, they'll just keep coming back for more.
I like the fact that these guys are coming out and they are making it known that they also are going to be fighting back. Because if you think you're radical, then trust me, Someone else is as radical as you are, or even more radical than you think you are.
So when gas prices, food prices all go up in the upcoming weeks, are they going to actually blame Trump, or are they going to somehow make it Biden's fault? Are they going to be like, it's not due to the tariffs that this person placed, or what? What is going to happen?
Donald Trump just put a 25% tax on anything you buy from eBay, Etsy, Shane, Temu that comes from Canada or Mexico or China. China is actually 10%. Mexico and Canada are 25%. This is bad, guys. This is from the Politico's economics correspondent, who noted that Trump made an exception in what he did today. And he said that the tariff applies to everything. Normally, they don't apply to everything. Normally, $800 and lower value, you're away. You're scot-free. No problems. You could buy stuff from abroad like that from eBay. Not a problem. Now, Trump is covering everything. This is a disaster. The correspondent, pull over here, mentions the sites. Look at this. eBay at the bottom there. eBay. You buy something from a Canadian from eBay, and you've got to pay 25% on it now. A 25% tax increase on everything we buy from these guys. And by the way, even scarier, it's not clear what happens if a Canadian friend tries to send you something, or you try to send something to them. Is it going to get taxed at the border? 25%? Maybe. Yeah. You voted for inflation to go down? It just went up. Yeah. Congratulations. Oh, I almost forgot the best part. This means U.S. Customs is now going to have to inspect every package and look at what it is, figure out the tariff, charge you for it. You've got to pay them. We don't have enough people working for the government to even do all of this. Your packages are going to get stuck at the border for so long. And again, and the agency is going to get so overrun because we don't have the staff. So Trump's going to have to hire tons of more federal workers, which is going to increase the deficit. So he claims he's getting rid of employees. He's actually going to have to hire more employees because of this stunt he pulled with the tariffs.
To all of my shopping girls, it is officially happening. I ordered an item that was coming from China, and I got this email today saying I had to pay $24.97 in order for my item to be released into the United States. Like, they were going to hold it at the DHL facility and not release it until I paid this. Mind you, I ordered this item from Etsy. It didn't say anything about that. This is something that I believe has gone into effect as of today, or yesterday actually. And yeah, it's a little bit unreal. So I actually paid the shipping fee on Etsy of $75, and then I had to pay the taxes on Etsy as well. And then I get this email saying that I had to pay this. Of course I paid it because I needed my package, but for all my shopping girlies that like to order from China, just be prepared. And I believe it is a percentage of your total that you will have to pay in order for your item to get released into the States. So here it is. It's happening.
The economy is already harder enough for the citizens. People are going into depression because they cannot even afford the things they could afford before. People are cutting costs. People are participating in the no-buy challenge so that they can be able to save some money. So with this tariff increase now, it's just going to increase the level of depression people are already in. It's going to increase the level of frustration that people are already in, because just like this lady said now, she was not expecting to pay that additional $24, but now she has to pay it because without that, she's not going to get her goods into the United States. So it's really frustrating that this is happening, and I don't know what's just going to happen. Like, we've got a whole 4 years to deal with this. How are we going to survive with all this? We're expecting that the prices of things is going to go down just as they promised, but we are seeing the opposite of it.
Something about Donald Trump's tariffs that hasn't gotten a ton of attention yet is this loophole that the Trump administration closed that I think could profoundly impact fashion, online shopping, home decor, trends, all in one fell swoop. And it has to do with a little known loophole called the de minimis exception. Now, to be clear, up until today, this was totally legal, but under the de minimis exception, packages that were valued under $800 could come into the United States duty-free, so not taxed. This is partially why stores like Shein or Temu can keep their prices so low, because If they're shipping your item from the warehouse or factory in China, they're not paying that fee unless you're ordering more than like $800 worth of stuff. This is obviously a very popular way to ship things to customers in the US. And under the Biden administration, I believe they estimated that more than 1 billion packages a year come into the US under this de minimis exception. So they're not paying duties on these small packages that ship directly to the customer. Now that Donald Trump has closed this loophole, these packages, these billions of Temu packages or Shein or Amazon packages, will, one, be inspected more closely by customs agents, and also will be taxed when they come into the country. It's not just companies like Temu either. Think about all of the drop shippers, for example. All of that stuff is going to go up in price. Obviously, people will feel the tariffs at the grocery store or buying a new phone or a new computer or a new car. But I think maybe one of the first places we'll see this change is when we are shopping online. Americans have gotten very used to this ultra cheap fashion, home goods, and home decor. And I've written in the past about how this is very much an illusion and how this entire ecosystem is about to come crashing down, and now it's starting. Think about all the influencers that make their money selling you things that are coming straight from China. Think about the influencers who are selling clothing that was produced in China. This industry is about to get turned on its head, and I am very curious to see what happens to people's shopping habits when they can no longer afford or justify even the cheapest of goods. I'm very curious what will happen to the trend cycle when people just can't buy $5 dresses anymore because the cost has gone up. Small businesses that place orders for components or parts or supplies that come from China, they're going to be affected. Their prices are going up. Was the de minimis exception abused? Maybe. A lot would argue yes. A lot of Americans have just simply gotten used to this illusion where a $5 dress or a $10 pair of boots or a $20 winter coat seems like the right price for the item, when in fact this price was artificially kept low. Obviously thanks to things like the de minimis loophole, but also things like cheap, abused labor somewhere else in the world. I actually recently wrote about this in the context of Amazon, so I'll link that video in this caption. I think we are all in for a lot of change, not just in our personal lives. Obviously, the price of everything is going up, but also the very nature of content creation and of influencing, and especially in the fashion industry. Like, there is no going back. Things are about to get real.
This lady just gave an expose. Do you know that after I watched this lady's video, I went to my Shein app, and when I opened my Shein app, I can tell you that it is true. The prices of things on Shein has increased. You can just go take your app. If you have any of those app, your Temu Shein app, just open them. You're going to see that there's an increase in the prices of things on those apps. So it's just so sad that these things are just going to affect us, and the people that are going to be so affected are the end users, just like you and me, the final consumers. We are the ones that are going to be suffering this thing, because as a business person, even if I end up paying that tariff because I need my goods to get to me right here, by the time those goods get to me, I am going to add up the money I have to add up to make my profits. That is the reason why I am running my business, to make profits. So it's just a sad one, and I don't know, let's just see where this leads us to. People are getting depression, people are going homeless, people are also, losing their jobs, so they can't even afford the things that they used to afford. So this is just a very painful one, and I can only hope that it gets better as the year goes by. That brings us to the end of today's video. If you've watched up to this point, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to the channel, like the video, share, leave your honest thoughts in the comment section respectfully, and we are going to see you in the next one. Bye bye.